Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers, your statistics and sports podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Tracy. Corwin, what is that face?
We were looking up costs of box suites for baseball games, so I looked up what it would be for the national championship game.
Okay.
Any guesses that you want to make?
All right.
Yankee
So the
Stadium.
face you just made seemed extreme, and Yankee Stadium, as Corwin just enlightened me on, starts at $10,000 for a box. So I'd have to imagine it's pretty extreme. $20,000. Oh fuck! I don't like the way you're shaking your head. What is it?
$250,000 to $500,000.
Fuck you! How many boxes are there?
Apparently one.
That's like 6 to 10 good incomes.
Just a fucking Eagles Commanders game is $30,000 in Philly. What the fuck?
Now, I've been in a box suite for an NFL game because one of my previous employers had one, and I got to go there for a preseason game because it was the Jets. Jets preseason means nothing to anybody. And those suites are really nice. And beer and food is included. But let me tell you guys, there's no amount of pretzel knots and hot dogs that compensate $30,000 worth of fees or entry. What?
A preseason Pittsburgh Steelers game is $6,000. A game that doesn't count.
A game where most of the players aren't going to make the team.
Let's see if there's any available for the Vegas.
The preseason games are almost more pageant than they are a sporting event.
August 26th, when you are in Las Vegas, you could get a box at the Premium Lodge on the 50-yard line for the Las Vegas Raiders game against the New England Patriots for $2,500.
Oh, is that all?
It's also
sum.
It's like you were saying, like 10 people. No, four people.
Nope. No.
How many of you guys are going?
There's 9 of us all together.
Okay, so you would have to do a 16-person suite, which
I'm sure those
would
are very
be,
affordable.
$12,000.
Yes. Peasant money.
But you get the option to have 4 additional tickets if you wanted to purchase those.
Oh, for purchase, you say?
Yes, for purchase, of course.
Well, $10,000 for 4 seats seems to be a fair deal. Oh, God,
I kind of want to look up the Super Bowl.
Dude, we can't get hold on. We have to do the show. I have to leave.
No, just one more.
I hate you. Go ahead.
We're moving on. No, we're moving on.
Okay.
I saw the number. It's $1.6 million.
Granted, I'm not sure tickets are formally available for that yet, which also affects it. Like if you look up Super Bowl tickets before they get like formally released, it's only just a small handful of people selling their tickets, and they sell them at like jacked prices because there's only like a small group of them being sold. So that doesn't mean anything. But yeah. What?
$1.6 million. Like it's $1.6 million for 18 people.
Speaking of numbers that are shockingly high, what do you think Albert Pujols' OPS plus is on the season?
On the season?
On the season.
Oh, Jesus. I know it is 1,400 in the second half, which is outrageous. For the season, I want to say like 850.
No, they give me the OPS plus.
Oh, 110.
150. Wow. Albert Pujols on the season is 50% better than your average batter. What do you think Albert Pujols' career OPS plus is?
He's had so many good years and so many just piss poor, awful years. A 120.
145.
Wow. Okay.
Which means, despite Albert Pujols, 3-time MVP winner Albert Pujols, like a guy who can rake, and even with his Angels years being relatively subpar compared to the rest of his career, he is still better this year than his career average. Like he is having, this is like the definition of a career year. He is 93. Not really. He is 42. I mean,
he hasn't had an OPS above 100 since 2016 and hasn't had an OPS this high since 2010 when he was the runner-up for MVP.
Albert Pujols is slugging in the month of August. Slugging 1025. Wow. His OPS is 1536, which is good for an SOPS plus, which compares his August to everyone else in the league's August. An SOPS plus of 327, which means he is 3 times the player that everyone else has been in the month of August, which is stupid. His slash line is batting 450, on base of 511, slugging 1025. He has 7 home runs just in the month of August, which matches his total on the season of 7. What a month for Teo Albert. And we talked just last Thursday on the show about whether or not Albert could close that 14 home run gap that seemed maybe it was 12 at the time. That seemed rather insurmountable. I think it was 12. And now he's almost the fuck there. I think he hit hold on, in the last week, how many home runs does he hit? I have to find out. But like I mean, what the fuck, man? So he's 7 home runs away. He's also got a little bit of padding in his WAR number. Since we last talked, he was at 100 WAR even. He's now at 100.7. He is a DH. He is a DH that earned 0.7 WAR in a week. He's averaging 0.1 WAR per day. God damn it, I love this man. Can he hit 7 home runs?
He has 39 games to hit 7 home runs.
I need him to do it, Corwin. I need him to do it.
Like, at what point do guys just start throwing underhand pitches?
All right, so hold on, just real quick. Since we last recorded, Corwin, Albert Pujols has hit 4 more home runs. So he was at 689 the last time we recorded. He's at 693. He's 3 home runs away from tying Alex Rodriguez. He is 7 home runs away from 700. Yeah, honestly.
And yet his team is 1-7 in their last 8 games.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I feel like
swept by Seattle. Got swept by Seattle. Lost 1-2 in the series against Detroit, and have lost 2 to Tampa Bay.
Wow, damn. Okay. But to your question from before,
you know what?
What?
I'm really fucking stupid. I'm looking at the Angels schedule. He doesn't play for them anymore. He plays for the other red team.
Yeah, he's back to those Cardinals. Who I'm going to imagine been doing a lot better than 1-7 in their last
game. Let's see.
Somewhere listening to this as a Cardinals fan, like, you're wrong. You're wrong.
They're 9-1 over their last 10.
All right, there you go.
Holy shit, the Cardinals are like unreal in the second half.
Remember when they were like kind of bullshit in the first half and barely 500? And,
yeah,
kicking ass. Thanks, Albert. But damn. Honestly, if it's me,
they finished the season with 6 straight games against the Pirates. Why?
6 straight multi-home run games for Teo Albert. Honestly, though, if I'm an opposing pitcher, there's no one in the game today outside of Miguel Cabrera, who did not grow up watching Albert Pujols play baseball. So there's no reason for you to not feel anything other than honor. I would start grouping in pitches. Just lob them in there.
Just start throwing.
Nothing over 90.
No, like you can still throw, throw what you got. Just, hey, give them the signs. Give them a chance.
Not even.
Don't gift it to them. But hey, this is gonna be a fastball.
I wouldn't even do that. I'd say everything is a fastball. You throw your fastball as hard as you want, but only fastballs in his at bats, all in the zone. That's what I would do.
If you're a right-hander, you have to switch to your left hand.
If you're a left-hander, you have to throw with your feet.
Yes.
God, what a fun fucking send-off this is for Albert, who has insisted that if he does not hit 700, he will still retire, which Corwin and I talked about last week too, actually. And that's basically what we figured he would do. It's tough. He's like 100. Like seeing him round the bases, I can't tell what he's more happy about, having just hit a home run or the fact he doesn't have to run very hard. It seems to be an equal share in both.
What's wild is he truly is having a career year, and he still only has the third highest OPS on the team.
Yeah, it's a
10-time top 5 MVP players having a career year, and is the third best hitter on his team.
We're probably going to see an NL MVP 1-2 finish of Goldschmidt and then Arenado, which is going to be nuts. Goldschmidt's batting .335, which doesn't even look like a real number this late in the year.
He's already hit 31 home runs.
He is leading MLB in batting average and on base and that was it. But he's leading the National League in
65
OPS,
extra base hits
and
a 622 slugging percentage.
It is disgusting. It's revolting. God damn it, it's so fucking impressive.
I wonder what his WAR is this year. Probably pretty good.
6.5, something like that.
Yeah, pretty neat. 6.8. Nope, that's Arenado.
It really makes Judge's
6.7.
Honestly, almost somehow even more impressive than Judge's season already does. Like, because Judge leads all of MLB in runs scored, home runs, RBIs, slugging, OPS plus, and total bases, and leads the American League in walks. God, what a fucking year.
Yeah, he's having a pretty decent season.
48 home runs.
Can't wait to see him finish runner-up for MVP again.
Yeah, that's not happening.
We'll see.
Actually, speaking of which, we might as well jump over there. Apparently, I was about to say rumor has it, but it's been officially announced by the team that the Angels are current leadership is exploring. Started the formal process. I'm going to pull up Jeff Passan's actual tweet to get the language on this right. They're going to sell the team. The Angels are going to sell the team. Arte Moreno says he's exploring selling the team, and then basically follows it up with, no, he is definitely selling the team.
Yes. Yes, I saw that.
So it's always an interesting conversation when a sports team is up for sale, especially one that has such a recent history of being bad. And the Angels have been bad almost Corwin and Mai's entire time watching baseball. Outside of like 2002 when they accidentally won a World Series, they've been like garbage. And they've been garbage, especially the past 3 years, with the two best players in baseball. So it's been especially noticeable how really, really bad they've been. It's also been kind of noticeable how bad they've made Albert Pujols, since he has been at least moderately successful in the two teams he'd been to that weren't the Angels. Because he wasn't bad with the Dodgers, and he's been great back with the Cardinals, and he was obviously great with the Cardinals the first time around. And with the Angels, he had a steady decline every season. So
I just looking at their baseball reference page here, I did not realize that the Angels started the year 24-13
best record in the American League to start the year,
and have since gone 28-58.
Powerfully
Holy fuck.
There was a stretch there where I think the only games they won were the games that Ohtani started on the mound or some shit like that. Like, it was wild. So obviously, we can sit here and say that
13 losses in a row, pretty tough.
Obviously, we can sit here and say that Arte Moreno selling the team would be good, because it's tough to imagine a position worse than this. The difficult part about that is that, point to me to an owner who is good. There's not a lot of them. There are certainly a few that have shown that they've been willing to do the only thing an owner has to do, which is
Bob nutting.
Sign a check and then shut the fuck up, like the owner of the Dodgers, the owner of the Padres. They've both been rather willing to do that, at least especially in recent seasons. But by and large, it's not a race to the top for being a great owner. It's really just middling to avoid the bottom of the worst owners. So Arte Moreno is very hands-on. So I guess as long as you're looking for a guy who's going to not be so hands-on, it's probably a win. Maybe the culture change will be enough to invigorate the system. But man, it's also one of those things where it's tough to look at the Angels and say, they're an owner away from being a really good, well-run team. Really, you got to wonder if new ownership would also give a reason for Shohei to stay around. Because
would you put your money on that? Would you put your money on that? Would you?
Well, let's be real. If I had the opportunity to buy an MLB team and the funds, absolutely, I'd buy that team. Every
no,
time.
I was saying from Shohei Ohtani's perspective.
Oh no, I think Shohei should be like, I am going to leave. You must now convince me that it's worth staying, future owner.
What I'm saying is there anything the Angels ownership could say that would convince you that this is going to be a winning franchise moving forward?
Yeah, I think the pitch is, if I'm the GM, you go to them and say, look, all of our problems and all of our bad pitching and all of our bad position players, that was the owner. It was all him. My hands were tied. I couldn't do anything. Now we got a new guy in, and he promises he's going to listen to me and just sign the checks we tell him to sign. So I promise you stay here. You take this bucket of cash. It's all going to be good. Daddy's going to take care of you, baby.
But would you, in Shohei Ohtani's shoes, believe what you just said?
No. I would
no fucking
run
chance.
Screaming from that organization.
I would say, hey, the Dodgers are willing to pay me twice as much, and I'll win 3 World Series while I'm there. Bye.
I was going to say, or the Padres. I would say the Padres have a bunch of young players who are going to be there forever, who are paying their players and seem like they're doing a really good job. And it's still here on the East Coast, and I can get out of LA. Sign me the fuck up. Or conversely, the same thing could be said about Seattle.
Don't give me that hope.
Seattle has a much lower payroll, and they would also be great. Because, then Seattle's pitch is so easy. We're young. We have no payroll, so we can fork money down your throat like there's no tomorrow. And you get to hang out with Ichiro Suzuki whenever you want. And let's be honest, that would sell most players.
You have a really great young player. You have some good young players around it. Oh, but you don't have any pitching. Scooby-Doo pulling the mask up. Oh, you're just the Angels. Oh,
hey, no, because the Mariners are about to go to the playoffs this year, which the Angels have not done. They have done once in Mike Trout's entire career with the team, with no sign of change. At least the Mariners are successful in their attempts as of late.
Yeah, but which team won a World Series more recently?
Los Angeles, but I maintain my point.
Yeah. Boy, they actually have a very much inverse relationship to their season. They started 18-27 and are now 67-56. So 20 plus games positive they gained. Pretty good.
Yeah, actually, this might be another nice opportunity for a slight glimpse at the standings, since this will be our last podcast recording in the month of August. As it stands right now, the playoff picture would be the division winners going. So in the American League, that's Houston for the West, Yankees for the East, and Cleveland for the Central. And the three wildcard teams in order would be Tampa Bay, who are 67-55, Toronto at 66-55, so half a game back, and Seattle 67-57, or a full game back of Tampa Bay. Just on the outside looking in is Baltimore at 64-58. They're 2 games back. Minnesota 62-59, 3.5 games back, and then no one else is really going to bridge that gap. In the West, in the National League, the 3 teams that are leading the division, the Dodgers, Mets, and St. Louis. The wildcard teams as of right now are the Atlanta Braves at 48. 10 games up in the wildcard spot.
Whoa.
The Phillies at 68-55, 8.5 games back of Atlanta, and San Diego Padres 68-58, who are 10 games back of Atlanta. And just on the outside looking in is really just Milwaukee at 65-57. What is your woe?
Who is the Yankees DH right now? Just a quick non sequitur.
It's been a carousel of people depending on the day. Let's say it's
Giancarlo. Josh Donaldson. What's his OPS plus on the season?
Donaldson? I'd be shocked if you told me if it was over 100.
The Mariners designated hitter, the guy whose only job is to hit, Abraham Toro, is a 63 OPS plus.
Abraham Toro has not had a great season.
No, he hasn't had a good season by any means. 180 batting average, -0.2 WAR.
I was really excited about him too, because he was having a nice year in Houston and then got traded to the Mariners and had a nice rest of his season with them, from what I recall. And then he has just had a tough time there this year.
He has a career high OPS plus of 92.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, that sucks.
Oh well.
Oh well, indeed. So, I fucking forgot what we were saying. Yeah, so that's the standings update. I really doubt much is going to change, honestly. It sucks that the only thing that really realistically would change would be swapping Seattle and Baltimore. The fact that those two are the 2 teams both fighting for that last spot kind of sucks, because I think we all would like to see both those teams make the playoffs. So hopefully one of Toronto or Tampa will fall in the standings in the next month. But yeah, that seems unlikely. Division leaders that could shift. Cleveland and Minnesota are still going out. There's a 3.5 game difference there. Atlanta is only 1.5 games behind the Mets. Those are the only 2 ones that are really close. Milwaukee's 5.5 games back.
Cleveland's on an absolute tear right now.
They really are. They just swept the Padres.
They're 12-1 over the last 13.
I thought it was 12-2 over the last 14, but it doesn't. They're really they're killing it. It's gross. Stop it. Yeah. You fucking weirdos. But yeah, I doubt there's gonna be too much shifting. Again, it is very much so. There's not a lot of parity within the divisions at this point in time in MLB, so I doubt there's gonna be too much shifting here in the late goings. But we'll see. Outside of that, the Yankees swept the Mets in a 2-game set, Monday and Tuesday, in what most New Yorkers would call a good time and very fun. It was a big surprise, as originally the Yankees were supposed to face off against a combination of Max Scherzer and then Jacob deGrom, but Jacob deGrom's start got pushed back a day, which no longer had him matching up with the Yankees in what Buck Showalter said, I think was a tantamount to like load management, which fair. You don't care if I'm a Met fan, I don't give a shit if DeGrom's starting against the Yankees in August. I care if he's starting against whomever in October. I want him in a playoff game.
Right.
So who gives a shit about that?
Especially since he missed 80% of the season so far.
Yeah, and has had a rough time staying on the field the past couple of years. So the Mets lost a pair of 4-2 games. The Yankees tagging Max Scherzer for all 4 of their runs in the first game, which was a huge surprise. And then diversified their runs amongst the Taijuan Walker and Joely Rodriguez in the follow-up game. Frankie Montas pitched relatively well, narrowly missing out on 6 innings pitched, but let up 2 earned runs. And Domingo Germán, 6.1 innings pitched, 1 earned run, the other run unearned in the first game. Now, we talked a lot about the Yankees. I bitched a lot about the Yankees the past few episodes because they have been a frustrating team who did not call anybody up when they should have. In the meantime, they have called up Oswaldo Cabrera and Esteban Florial. Florial has now since been sent back down as of, I think, yesterday. But Oswaldo Cabrera has been up. He has not been playing. He's not been batting super duper well. He, in his 27 plate appearances, has a slash line of 160, 222, 200 for an OPS plus of 23. However, he's been playing phenomenal defense, and I think his youth and energy has been giving the team a little bit more of a pop. Even though the bat hasn't really been there, which for a fucking 23-year-old rookie does not have to be just yet. It's been a spark. I don't think sparks necessarily have to be dynamic and great players, because if that was the case with Judge's current season, there'd be no reason for the Yankees to be losing at all. Why wouldn't the spark be Aaron Judge? He is hitting a goonish number of home runs. But I think having a young guy on the team that is excited to be there, because he really is. There's not a lot of free agents sitting in that dugout that are like jazzed about being with the Yankees. It's a bunch of guys who have been with the Yankees, or at least the last season. It's not new to anybody, but I think maybe the youthful energy and, again, dynamic defense that Oswaldo Cabrera has brought, 0.3 WAR in this handful of games, is really quite impressive. Has been much needed. Much needed.
Can you do the same to dissect why the Padres are really bad now?
Because you traded for Juan Soto. And a good thing must be balanced out with a bad thing.
Oh, the bad thing wasn't bad enough? We need more bad?
The curse of Tatis?
Yeah.
This is the Padres' personal ringworm. Speaking of which, any thoughts on the Tatis shoulder surgery?
Yeah, I mean, would have been great if he did this, when he hurt it, or at the end of the season, or literally any point when everyone kind of was like, he keeps hurting that shoulder. Like, he really should have that surgery. So it's not an issue going forward. I know there's another player who I'm forgetting, went through a very similar thing, ended up pushing off the surgery, finally had it, and all of a sudden all of his reoccurring shoulder injuries went away. But regardless, I think this is Padres front office really putting their thumb down on, you need to grow the fuck up, pull your shit together, and act like a team player. And he's just kind of, dog with tail between his legs, like, okay, I'll do this now. I'll make something out of this absence, this 80-game suspension, all that. His wrist is finally healthy again. Silver linings?
I would guess so, because this has him now out. Again, we talked about this with the suspension. The suspension now has him out the rest of this season. So, all of September through October, November, and the first month of next season, which means that he is guaranteed.
Depending on how deep into the playoffs they go.
Right. But regardless, he is guaranteed to basically not be playing any baseball from right now until early April at best. Maybe
Yeah.
probably more like late April, early May.
Yep.
Which at that point he'd probably still have to go to the minors for a bit just to, get back up to speed. It's not like he's gonna clear his suspension and then be right on the major league roster. Like, no, he's probably gonna go to the AAA team or maybe even
extended
just
spring training.
That's what I meant. Yeah, sorry, thank you. Extended spring training, which at that point, like,
whatever.
If his shoulder surgery takes him, I don't know what the recovery time is. Did you see a recovery time on the shoulder surgery?
I did not.
Yeah, I read an ESPN.
Honestly, I'm not even remotely concerned about what it is.
But that's what I was going to say. Even if it was, let's see, how many fucking months? September, October, November, December, January, March, April, May. It's 8 months. I doubt it's going to take him even that long to recover from the shoulder surgery. And even if it took him longer, how many more months do you care about at that point? So
you don't.
Right. It is a silver lining, and I am very much looking forward to Tatis next season because I think it's always tough to have to realize at some point as you're growing up that you are going to be looked at as a leader, whether it's by your peers in terms of age or by people even slightly older than you. If you are good at what you do, people are going to start looking to you for leadership. And it can be an odd transition. It was in a couple of my roles to be kind of weird where it's like, oh, that's me. People are looking at me for something. Like I am now the quote unquote like adult voice or the leader's voice in this situation. And we all have to have like a reckoning with that at some point as we mature and have that happen to us more frequently. And then something that like baseball, where you do it your whole life, it might be hard to realize that. It might be hard to realize that, oh, I can't just be really good and that kind of be it. I have to actively work on being a presence, being the guy that, people can turn to for mature responses or worldly advice, fix a swing, shoulder to cry on, whatever platitude. Doesn't mean you have to be like, stodgy and demure. Like you can be fun. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing stopping you from being like Manny Ramirez was fucking fun, but he was also like a good locker room guy. He was a guy that could be relied upon. And I think Tatis, from what I have gotten from nothing more than vibes from articles, I really feel like this could be a turning point for him. Obviously Manny Machado is basically like that dude for the locker room right now. He is the, kind of like that locker room leader at this point, I would think. But having another guy, a couple years younger, a little bit on the flashier side, the guy that everyone would like to think of as the face of the franchise, would like to, not necessarily is right now because of all of this shit. Having him also be that, having him also be that voice, I think is pretty big. And I really think, I would really hope Tatis is looking to be that dude next season and takes that role seriously. Like there's nothing more that I would love than Tatis having, the big flashy dude with the bat flips and the hair and all that shit, mashing 40 bombs and also being like the guy everyone turns to. You know what I mean? Not just because he's good, but because he's really come into his own as a leader. And he's going to have to prove that. That's part of what his trials and tribulations is going to be next season. He's going to have to prove that he's that guy now. So I'm looking forward to it. I really think he's going to come out of this a better man.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I would love for all of that to come true, as a man who owns his jersey, I just can't help but it's too recent to the incident to kind of get over it and just only look for the positives and not be dwelling in his career reputation and career legacy is tarnished and ruined.
I understand that. All right, two little non sequitur topics, then we'll close out on the worst guy who's still allowed to play baseball. A Yankees fan the other day made his hot dog into a straw by pushing a regular straw all the way through a hot dog and then putting that hot dog with the hole in the middle into a beer and then sucking that beer through that dog. I don't even know what to say about that. Why? Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to suck on a dog? Literally. For a whole beer. Let's forget the taste, because I can't even imagine what that tastes like.
Yeah.
Why do you want to suck on a dog like that for a whole game? Or at least for a whole beer?
If I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, I could totally just have that thought burst into my head and be like, I wonder what would happen if. And then doing it because I'm a dumb 12-year-old. Guy was an adult, like full-fledged adult. And listen, we've all been sitting around thinking like, oh, what if? And I had those stupid men thoughts that we all tend to have because we're dumb children. We're just adult. But I would never do it because that's it. I can't avoid the taste. I can't ignore it. It's disgusting.
Also, the like, you ever only have the big spoons left when you were trying to eat cereal or like soup?
Yeah.
And like you can still do it, but it's like, fuck, like this spoon, it feels too big for this task. Like,
I'll be honest, I would go for the big spoon when I ate cereal.
I would when I was a kid, and then when I was an adult, I was like, I feel like I'm just hurting my mouth doing this. I have to like really like extend these sucking lips to get around this girthy spoon.
I guess as someone who's like a foot taller than you, just size matters.
What's funny though is we have the same size head.
Sure.
But you know, like, you know what I mean though, like the feeling of like something bigger than what it needs to be for like a utilitarian purpose. It's like uncomfortable. But this guy is like,
there's nothing about this
that
is comfortable.
Could you imagine a straw, just a regular straw that was, I don't know, 2 inches in diameter, mostly of whatever thick plastic, or in this case, meat. Like, it just doesn't sound like it's a fun way to consume your beverage, man.
Now I'm stuck listening or thinking about a 2-inch diameter hot dog. That's a massive dog.
I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
It feels like nothing went right in his life. It feels like the only way you get there is tragic.
Yeah, that's not a guy who's doing well.
It's a cry for help. Do you have anything like that you do where you're like, this is my preferred way?
I mean, I eat cereal without milk. That's really it. That's about as crazy as I get.
Even that, there's people who do that.
Yeah.
That.
It's a common thing.
Right.
No, I have nothing that compares to drinking a beer with a hot dog straw.
What other food would you potentially use as a straw?
Pasta, dude. Pasta is such an easy answer.
Some thick linguine.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's just rigatoni that you don't cut.
Oh, that's
You know, the straw-shaped pasta.
That's the one I meant. I don't know. I don't know pasta-shaped names.
Like veggie straws, but again, that is just a straw.
But that's the thing. Those are all straw-shaped things already. What other tube? What other tubes?
Like a soft pretzel might be good.
That's fascinating. Pretzel straw?
Yeah, like even
That's
like one of those like pretzel rods, just bite off both ends and just a filtered straw. I imagine you could make that work.
That wouldn't be bad.
I'm never gonna attempt it, but
about like an eclair.
Oh no. Oh,
that wouldn't be good at all. Speaking of second on meat, a couple is being investigated by the Oakland Athletics because of dishing out some straight up head in the middle of an afternoon game that the A's had a few days ago up in the abandoned upper balcony of or the third upper deck. There we go. Upper deck of the just unattended Oakland Athletics game. The sexual act was caught on camera on somebody's Twitter the other day, and has sparked the need for additional security up in the upper decks of the Oakland Coliseum so that more people don't have a good time at an Oakland A's game. And has spawned a number of nice, fun signs that fans have started bringing to games. Did you see the video?
I did, yeah. Look, Oakland, have your investigation. That's tough.
I didn't realize
Oakland, have your investigation. Figure out who they are. Put some statement out there. Don't release names or anything like that. Just say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got them. And then give them season tickets. Give them a custom 69 jersey.
I was gonna say, let them throw out the first pitch. Let the man throw the first pitch. Let the woman catch it. Like have some fun. Give them a medal. Make it a theme night.
Encourage this.
Like,
oh God.
The giveaway for their theme night should be your own. Like, it should be a dome. The stadium doesn't have a dome, so come get your own dome. Come get some dome at the Oakland Coliseum.
Hey, come get some bobblehead at the Oakland Coliseum.
Or it could be a little like plushy brains with like an Oakland symbol on it. It's like, come get some brain.
Just, hey man, give out 2 baseballs and a mini bat.
Or they could give out eclairs.
Or they could give out, honestly, the eclair might be what gets the most amount of people to come to the stadium.
Come make a mess with your friends and family.
Oh.
Sell only tickets in the third the third deck.
Jesus. That would be hilarious, actually, if a team did that for like one game.
Yeah, only the upper belt. That'd be fucking funny. I guess why the stadium wouldn't necessarily want there to be room and space for sexual acts to be committed during games, because I could potentially be unsafe. But man, that's fucking funny. It did actually.
It'd be safe if there were protection.
It did make me think, with this societal decline into sex positivity and accessible gambling. Do you think that within the next 50 years, sex works will have gotten so progressive, as well as businesses and sports teams, to where certain private suites you could order a sex worker up to
for $250,000 a suite? Yeah.
Well, the suite would cost normal, but I guess the team would employ the sex worker.
Josh, that is the normal cost of a suite.
At some places. Imagine if the Yankees had like a sex worker on retainer, like the Yankees were technically a pimp.
I mean, if you told me Hal Steinbrenner was a pimp, I'd be like, yeah, that would make sense for that little weirdo.
But for
I
real,
guess,
though, like if these things become more acceptable in the ways in which they should, would it be outright? Like, you can gamble at a lot of ballparks now, where if they're in states that allow gambling, like some ballparks have their own books now that you can go place a bet in.
Yeah, but like,
you
don't have to take your dick out to gamble.
I know. This is why I'd only be in the suites for the high rollers. I'm not saying they do this like behind home plate, but
all right. Let me say this: is it something that could and probably would happen? Yes. Are they going to advertise it to us slums? No.
Well, that's the real thing. It's going to be a think piece in like 20 years, and then it'll be relatively more accessible.
It'll be like Animal Style at In-N-Out. It's there, but it's on the secret menu.
Also, like, let's not pretend it's not already happening professionally too. Not even just for fun, like this couple in Oakland. Let's not pretend like there hasn't been some quantity of sex workers in the owner's booth during a number of these MLB baseball games. Because, buddy, I guarantee you, this was not the first dick that got sucked during extra innings. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
that seventh inning stretch came with an eighth inning swallow.
Oh, God. That's gross.
Yeah, I kind of hate myself for saying it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. Sex work is tough work. I think within the next 50 years, it'll at least be like discussed.
Yeah. And we will be the ones discussing
it. It'll just be us, 70-something years old. I'm just trying to get my dick sucked at the Yankee game. Anyway. Yeah, all right. So to close out on a downer, Marcell Ozuna got a DUI and is still playing baseball. Which how is that not a suspension? Or like a removal from the game for life? Like, he got a DUI and then played in a game the next day.
I don't know. It's him and the shit he's gone through. I don't even necessarily agree that he should have been playing baseball up until this point. This is just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, but Camel's still trudging along, so who knows?
It makes no sense from an ethical, moral, or business standpoint, too, because let's also not pretend like Marcell Ozuna has been Barry Bonds out there. He's been very bad this season. I don't bring that up to make it the only metric of whether or not someone should be playing professional sports, but let's be honest, it's the only thing an ownership group fucking cares about. Because if this was up to the morality of the situation, he would have been playing ball at all this season, as Corwin had mentioned. And so given that he is a bad guy and also been very bad this season, you got to wonder what the fuck he's doing on the field. Because if I'm the GM of Atlanta, I go, ooh, yay, perfect excuse to get this fuck away from us. And instead, here he is, still a playing. Disappointing that also the MLB front offices haven't done anything about it.
Agreed. Very much agreed. I expect him to kind of drift off into nothingness after the season.
Well, he's got 3 more years on his contract at $16 million apiece. Oh, sorry, 2 more years on a club option. Okay. I don't fucking know, man. I wish he'd just fuck off already. I'm done with this fucking clown. I don't know what Atlanta's keeping him around for. I really don't. It's just we only bring it up because we usually acknowledge when players do good and shitty things. So feels like it's a good time to remind you that a piece of shit like this is still playing, and your favorite team would let that happen too. Let's not pretend this is exclusive to Atlanta. If this was a Yankee, a Padre, a Dodger, a Ray, doesn't matter. Probably still be playing for all those teams because they don't fucking care about you. They don't. If there's whoever the next owner of the Angels is, yeah, he's gonna suck too, or she. And yeah, they're still gonna let a piece of shit like this play. So fuck, they all hate you.
You think the MLB owners would approve that? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Hey, money talks.
Sure. That's why I'm so quiet over here.
Deathly silent. Yeah, nothing creative to say. We hate this fucking guy. Wish he'd stop playing baseball. It doesn't make any sense that he is playing baseball. It really is confounding. It feels like nothing but a giant middle finger. And seen. Message received. Yeah. Corwin, anything else?
Absolutely not.
All right, well, if you'd like to follow the show, you can do so at Juicing Pod. If you'd like to follow Corwin on Twitter, you can do so at Corwin Heller. If you can follow myself on Twitter, you can do so at Joshua D. Tracy. If you'd like to send emails to the show, you can do so at juicethenumbers@gmail.com. I will be on the West Coast for the next several days. So there will be no new episodes until not next Wednesday, but probably the Wednesday after that. Thursday, I should say. Thursday after that. So whatever that is, September 6th or 7th or 8th or some shit like that. So have fun in the meantime. You won't be hearing from us. So
I mean,
then,
I could, in theory, do this myself, but I won't.
You will not.
No. I will not.
All right.
Josh goes on vacation. I get a vacation too.
It's only fair. Until next time. Y'all have a good one.